if you go back to indigenous texts, you can
Yeah.
see that non-binary people were actually the leaders of the community because they embodied both female and masculine traits that make them incredible leaders, because great leaders are balanced. And
Hmm.
what happened during colonization is that those people were erased first because they were powerful. They were seen as magic in their communities. And so when those people were erased, their stories were gone. And we started leaning into the binary because that was part of colonization. That was part of the English traditions, right? And that's where it's actually, buried in racism, capitalism, and everything else that our country has evolved into, right? It's not that they didn't exist. It's not that it's new. It's that they were erased from our history.
Yeah. And it's amazing. And what do they call them? Dual spirits, I believe, is what
Two
Native American.
spirit.
Two spirit. Yep. And it's truly fascinating how revered this population of people were then, and how now all of a sudden it's like, well, all of a sudden you can just wake up and here's my favorite argument. Well, I identify as a sheep today. Really?
Yeah.
It just that
Unnecessary.
it's not. It is unnecessary. It's irrelevant, and no one is saying that, right? And I think if we diminish conversations down to that level, we're not honoring humanity. We're not honoring anything. We are taking it down to a level that doesn't serve or help anyone.
Yeah. Well, because here's the deal, right? When people say stuff like that to me, I think where my mind goes is, what's it hurting you? Okay, straight up. I grew up in a family that has a kin road, and you have to be real Southern to understand what that is. And it's a road where only your family lives. That's how rural, okay? We have an ambulance address and a family address. The family address is different because you can't get mail there. They don't even recognize that place, okay? And my whole thing is, well, Ronald, and I'll say their whole name and I'll be like, you sure do like it when I call you Roy, you know, or, and I like call out someone's big, long Southern name. And I'm like, well, you asked me to call you Tim, right? What does it hurt you for me to call you what I ask? What does it hurt you to call me what I ask you to call me?